hardcore Biafrans to understand, because they are the ones that will lead us to freedom, not all the flavors by the side. It is the hardcore that will lead us to freedom, not the idiots by the side. Do you understand? No, they have given me everything. They came to DSS to give me, I said no. They came to prison, Kuje, I said no. They came to my house, I said no. They called me governor's meeting, I said no, I don't want anything. All I want is freedom. All I want is Biafra. Why do you think I had issues with Chief Nyanwodo? Why do you think I had issues with him? Because of the same thing. I said, that way people are going, Ojukwu went that way. They rubbished him. Look at Imo State. See what they did to Ihedioha in Imo State. The same political process. You join, after a while, you vote. After voting, they declare whoever they like as their winner, and that's the end of the game. So I will never join any zoo politics. I will never stop fighting for Biafra. Listen to me very carefully. My father, my mother died as a result of this. I have lost men as a result of this. IPOP family members that I was close to have died. They did not die for one Nigeria. They did not die for Nigerian party politics. They died fighting for freedom. And that freedom we are going to get on their behalf. Your next question, please.
Thank you. So the reassurance is that even if they call you to make you Nigerian president, that you always stand on Biafra. Because I want to know the reason why somebody will stand and say, I am dying for Biafra because my leader has said. So you have clarified that. So my second question.
They gave me vice presidency. Go and ask DSS. They gave me vice. They said they'll make me the vice president of the zoo. I should drop my agitation. This happened in October of 2015, and I said no, I won't drop it. Ask them. That was the day I gave them the advice about building. These are the things I want our people, our hardcore Biafrans to understand, because they are the ones that will lead us to freedom, not all the flavors by the side. It is the hardcore that will lead us to freedom, not the idiots by the side. Do you understand? They have given me everything, and I said no. They came to DSS to give me, I said no. They came to prison, Kuje, I said no. They came to my house, I said no. They called me governor's meeting, I said no, I don't want anything. All I want is freedom. All I want is Biafra. Why do you think I had issues with Chief Nyanwodo? Why do you think I had issues with him? Because of the same thing. I said, that way people are going, Ojukwu went that way. They rubbished him. Look at Imo State. See what they did to Ihedioha in Imo State. The same political process. You join, after a while, you vote. After voting, they declare whoever they like as their winner, and that's the end of the game. So I will never join any zoo politics. I will never stop fighting for Biafra. Listen to me very carefully. My father, my mother died as a result of this. I have lost men as a result of this. IPOP family members that I was close to have died. They did not die for one Nigeria. They did not die for Nigerian party politics. They died fighting for freedom. And that freedom we are going to get on their behalf. Your next question, please.
Thank you. So the reassurance is that even if they call you to make you Nigerian president, that you always stand on Biafra. Because I want to know the reason why somebody will stand and say, I am dying for Biafra because my leader has said. So you have clarified that. So my second question.
They gave me vice presidency. Go and ask DSS. They gave me vice. They said they'll make me the vice president of the zoo. I should drop my agitation. This happened in October of 2015, and I said no, I won't drop it. Ask them. That was the day I gave them the advice about building. These are the things I want our people, our hardcore Biafrans to understand, because they are the ones that will lead us to freedom, not all the flavors by the side. It is the hardcore that will lead us to freedom, not the idiots by the side. Do you understand? On no, they have given me everything and I said no. They came to DSS to give me, I said no. They came to prison, Kuje, I said no. They came to my house, I said no. They called me governor's meeting, I said no, I don't want anything. All I want is freedom. All I want is Biafra. Why do you think I had issues with Chifunia? Why do you think I had issues? Because of the same thing. I said, that way people are going, Ojuku went that way. They rubbished him. Look at Imo State. See what they did to you in Imo State. The same political process. You join, after a while, you vote. After voting, they declare whoever they like as their winner, and that's the end of the game. So I will never join any politics. I will not stop fighting for Biafra. Listen to me very carefully. My father, my mother died as a result of this. I have lost men as a result of this. IPOP family members that I was close to have died. They did not die for one Nigeria. They did not die for Nigerian party politics. They died fighting for freedom. And that freedom we are going to get on their behalf. Your next question, please.
Thank you. So the reassurance is that even if they call you to make you Nigerian president, that you always stand on Biafra. Because I want to know the reason why somebody will stand and say, I am dying for Biafra because my leader has said. So you have clarified that. So my second question.
They gave me vice presidency. Go and ask them. They gave me vice. They said they'll make me the vice president of the zoo. I should drop my agitation. This happened in October of 2015, and I said no, I won't drop it. Ask them. That was the day I gave them the advice about doing. If you allow yourselves to be deceived, things can only get worse. Fulani terrorists will take over your land. Time and time again, I have warned you on this very matter, but some of you never ever listened. Because in this life, what goes around comes around. If you support evil today because you're benefiting, eventually that evil will overwhelm you. And if you allow yourselves to be deceived, things can only get worse. Fulani terrorists will take over your land. Time and time again, I have warned you on this very matter, but some of you never ever listened. Because in this life, what goes around comes around. If you support evil today because you're benefiting, eventually that evil will overwhelm you. And if you allow yourselves to be deceived, things can only get worse. Fulani terrorists will take over your land. Time and time again, I have warned you on this very matter, but some of you never ever listened. Because in this life, what goes around comes around. If you support evil today because you're benefiting, eventually that evil will overwhelm you.
State first, laying that strong foundation to make sure that we are not to sabos. State first, laying that strong foundation to make sure that we are to sabos. Sabos must come, but our structure and what we are will end them. So we want destroy. Never rise again. Biafra government in exile is a government that structure and what we are doing now and so we want to first of all organize the government cabinet and make sure that they are not porous to these samples and all the deals that comes with it. Then we'll go into the contribution, of course the money to raise that will be raised from Biafra land will go a very, very long way to the liberation phase that we are into now. So after that, that's why the creation of the public groups for each state by the executive state very, very necessary for information. So after the executive will begin the connection of what we call the Biafra liberation tax. The Biafra liberation tax is something that every person, whether in Biafra land or outside Biafra land, will participate in paying. And like you see, the people in diaspora have already started paying the Biafra liberation tax. If you go to the website, you're going to see the portal where the Biafra liberation tax is being paid. And you can pay as little as $5 or $10 a week. So it is a weekly payment. That weekly payment is something that we're going to also activate Biafra land for the Biafra liberation tax. So first of all, we have to put factor in order for that. But thank God. But yet, it is not about me. And yet, it is all about money because you can't find freedom without money. But first of all, I want to make sure that the executives of the department of government is well grounded and the foundation is as strong as possible, especially at this early stage, so that it will be able to withstand every sample that is going to shake the foundation in the rest of the world. Thank you. Laying that strong foundation to make sure that we are not porous to samples. Samples must come, but our structure and what we are doing now will end them. So we want to focus and all the things that comes with it. Then we'll go into the contribution. Of course, the money to raise that will be raised from Biafran land will go a very, very long way. The liberation phase that we are into now. So after that, it is advisable that everybody will locate their state. That's why the creation of the public groups for each state by the executive of the state is very, very necessary for information dissemination. So after that, the state executive will begin the collection of Biafran liberation plans. Biafran liberation plans is something that every person, whether in Biafran land or outside Biafran land, will participate in paying. And like you see, the people in diaspora have already started paying the Biafran liberation tax. If you go to the website, you're going to see the portal where the Biafran liberation tax is being paid. And you can pay as little as $5 or $10 a week. So it is a weekly payment. That weekly payment is something that we're going to also activate the Biafran land for the Biafran liberation tax. So, but first of all, we have to put the federal government cabinet in order before we start that. But I thank those states who already started. But yet, it is not about money. And yet, it is all about money because you cannot find freedom without money. But first of all, I want to make sure that the executives of the department of government is well grounded and the foundation is as strong as possible, especially at this early stage, so that it will be able to withstand every sample that is going to shake the foundation in the rest of it. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Never rise again. The Biafra government in exile is a government that nobody born of a woman marching on this planet, using your foot to walk on the ground, will ever destroy. Never rise again. The Biafra government in exile is a government that nobody born of a woman marching on this planet, using your foot to walk on the ground, will ever destroy. Never rise again. The Biafra government in exile is a government that nobody born of a woman marching on this planet, using your foot to walk on the ground, will ever destroy. Never rise again. The Biafra government in exile is a government that nobody born of a woman marching on this planet, using your foot to walk on the ground, will ever destroy. Never rise again. The Biafra government in exile is a government that nobody born marching on this planet, using your foot to walk on the ground, will ever destroy. Never rise again. The Biafra government in exile is a government that nobody born of a woman marching on this planet, using your foot to walk on the ground, will ever destroy. Never rise again. The Biafra government in exile that nobody born of a woman marching on this planet, using your foot to walk on the ground, will never, ever destroy.
Wow. Wonderful Biafrans. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on your location and your time. From my time, it's good morning from here. I want to appreciate every one of you. Thank you so much for joining me. Please, I need to know where you are watching me from. I need to know where you're watching me from. Ụtụtụ ọma, nwa Chineke Las Benziko. Ụtụtụ ọma, nwanne mmadụ. Chinedu Victor. Ụtụtụ ọma from here as well. Thank you for joining. Others that are watching, where are you watching from? Tell us where you are watching us from, and we can as well, I can as well appreciate your presence. Very, very important. Very, very important. There is something our Prime Minister said here. I want us to listen again.
Lay that strong foundation to make sure that we don't put us to sabos. Sabos must come, but our structure and what we are doing now will end them. So we want
laying that strong foundation, laying a very strong foundation, so that when the storms brew, when the storms come, the foundation will withstand the storm that comes. In Biafran Republic government in exile, a strong foundation was laid from the onset, laid from the inception, laid from the beginning of the government. The government was reactivated on August 2022, and a strong foundation was laid for Biafran Republic government in exile, so that a time like this that we expected to come in the future, the foundation will be able to withstand the storm. And laying that foundation with people who have the mindset of our leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. You know the mindset of our leader? I want you to listen to what our leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, always said. Our leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, have always told us that Biafra is going to be gotten by those who are hardcore. In the question that was posed to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, Ohamadike of Biafra. Okay, let me see if I can see it very quickly. In the question that was posed to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu about the promises that Nigerian government have made to him in order for him to stop the agitation for Biafra, our leader made us to understand that it is the hardcore that are going to give us Biafra, not other set of individuals. Those who have come for the actual restoration of Biafra, those who are ready to sacrifice everything sacrificable. In other words, he said these people are the hardcores. So when the Biafran Republic government in exile laid foundation, a solid foundation, that solid foundation was laid by the hardcores, those who actually want Biafra, who are not ready to compromise their position.
The things I want our people, our hardcore Biafrans to understand.
Our hardcore Biafrans to understand. The hardcore Biafrans.
And because they are the ones that will lead us to freedom.
Because they are the ones that are going to lead us to freedom. The hardcores. No other person. I don't need anybody here.
Not all the flavors by the side. It is the hardcore that will lead us to freedom, not the idiot.
Take water and go. It is the hardcores that are going to give us the freedom, not the flavors that bite. The hardcores are the ones who are going to make it possible for us to have freedom, not the flavors by the side. You can imagine a scenario when Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was promised the vice president. Because Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is the leader of the hardcore, he never accepted their promise. So it is the hardcores that are going to restore Biafra. So when the Biafran Republic government in exile was laying a foundation for the government, it was laid with the hardcores on a very solid rock, on a foundation that no man, no woman, nobody can be able to destroy it. No force, no individual, no group can be able to destroy it. I want you to listen to the Prime Minister, the first Prime Minister. This was on a space hosted by the chairman of the Joint Chief of Staffs of the Biafran Republic government in exile, of the de facto government in the homeland, Mazi Success. And this is what the Prime Minister responded.
Lay that strong foundation to make sure that we're not porous to sabo.
Laying that foundation to make sure that we are not porous to sabos, because he knew that there always be sabo on the way. Sabo from the Nigerian government, sabos from the IPOB Nigeria, even sabos inside the government. People who pretended that freedom is their end goal. People who pretended that supporting Biafra is their end goal with everything that they have. But inwardly, they have an ulterior motive. They have an agenda. They have a script written for them so that they can be able to execute that script. We saw it in Ngozi. We saw it in Emma. So it is always there.
Sabos must come.
Sabos must come.
Our structure and what we are doing now. And so we want to first of all organize the government cabinet and make sure that they're not this sabos and all the things that comes with it. Then we'll go into the contribution, of course, the money to raise that will be raised from the upper class will go the very, very long way. The inflation phase that we are into now. So after that, it is advisable that everybody will locate their state. That's why the creation of the public groups for each state by the executive of the state is very, very necessary for information dissemination. So after that, the executive, the state executive will begin the connection of what we call the Biafra Liberation Plans. Biafra Liberation Plans is something that every person, whether in Biafra land or outside Biafra land, will participate in paying. And like you see, the people in diaspora have already started paying the Biafra Liberation Tax. If you go to the website, you're going to see the portal where the Biafra Liberation Tax is being paid. And you can pay as little as $5 or $10 a week. So it is a weekly payment. That weekly payment is something that we're going to activate Biafra land for the Biafra Liberation Act. So, but first of all, we have to put the federal government cabinet in order before we start that. But thank those states who already started. But yet, it is not about money, and yet it is all about money, because you cannot fight freedom without money. But first of all, I want to that the executives of the federal government is well grounded, and the foundation is as strong as possible, especially at this early stage, so that it will be able to withstand the sample that is going to shake the foundation in the nearest future.
The structure of Brgie was well designed, well defined, so that it is going to withstand the storms that will come in the nearest future. It is going to withstand the attacks that we are going to get from Biafrans and non-Biafrans as well, from the government of Nigeria, from the evil hands, from the people that never wanted us to be free. The Biafran Republic government was structured in a way that when the attacks come, you only hear it, but it's not going to shake the foundations of Brgie. That is something that is very, very important for people to understand. And just like Biafra, that our leader said nobody can stop or destroy Biafra. The same thing applies to Biafran Republic government in exile, because this government was well structured, well put in place for the freedom of the Biafran people. So, and there's something that our Prime Minister also said here. It's not about money, but it's all about money. So for those of you who are not supporting the Biafran government, what have you to gain for that? If you are actually in support of Biafran freedom, you know that freedom is very, very expensive. Freedom cannot come or be given to you on a platter of gold. You have to work for your freedom. You have to fight for your freedom. And fighting for your freedom, or our freedom rather, we cost us some money. So the donations, the support, the fundraisings are avenues of raising funds for Biafran government freedom fight, for the restoration of Biafra. Because we have our attorney, we have other things that the Biafra government need to spend money on. Yesterday, in the fundraising yesterday, a lot of things were said. A lot of things were said. Our Prime Minister, His Excellency Honorable Ogechukwu made us to understand that finance is very, very key. That Biafra is already here. The only impediment or the only obstacle we have encountered are people who don't want to contribute to their freedom, or people who contribute to areas that are actually against the freedom itself. People who are sitting on the fence. People who they talk about freedom, but when it comes to the contribution that is associated with freedom, you never see these people contribute. It is very, very sad. Very, very sad indeed, because since 1967, our people have died for this freedom. You had Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, our leader, when he was saying in this clip that he was promised everything for him to leave Biafra. But for the singular reason that people have died, he has lost men, he has lost relations, he lost his father and mother. He lost animals, are also included. He lost his dog. A lot of Biafrans are still incarcerated. Recently, we heard about a Biafran in Enugu State who took money just to visit Mazen Nandekam in Sokoto prisons. And a fool or a sabo inside that group, yes, took that money and ran away and disappeared. This boy, let me see if I can see the video here, so that this boy now went to the police. You see why the Nigerian police, the army, the military are your enemies. He went to the police to report this issue. He went to the police to report this issue. Arrested the guy. The police are detaining him. Why? Because he went and complained that the money contributed, that somebody did. Okay? Somebody took the money and ran away. So they are saying, okay, this money, what are you using it for? He said they want to go and visit Mazen Nandekano. They now lock this guy up. Let me see if the video can play, because it's very, very sad. They locked the guy up. Locked him up because they contributed money to go and see Mazen Nandekano. And somebody took that money. And somebody died the money. So they now arrested this guy and put him in detention. And leave him in detention because they wanted to see Mazen Nandekano. So a lot of atrocities, a lot of harassment and intimidation, a lot of killings have gone into this Biafran freedom. So you don't expect Mazen Nandekano to just leave Biafran freedom without getting freedom for the people. Or you don't expect the Biafran Republic government in Ezra, who understand the position and the plight that the Biafran people undergo on a daily basis in Nigeria, you just expect them to just all of a sudden to forget about Biafra. It's not going to happen. I don't know whether this video will play. So if he plays, good, let's see. See the person's wife in question.
Now, they say you get one guy where they SWAT custody. They say you get one guy where they SWAT custody in Enugu since January this year. They say the tiger man as IPOB suspect. In Enugu since January this year. They say the tiger man as IPOB suspect. IPOB suspect IPOB. So what did the guy do? They say this group they contribute money to Mazen Nandekano in Sokoto prison as other people go to see am. As many people go to visit am. Now wetin dem say want to be that. Then one of the member when they carry the money give because they don't contribute the money finish. That one can't carry the money run. As they can't carry the money run. So one person reach shout to me now. They say you get one guy where they what custody in Enugu since January this year. They say they tag him as IPO. Now because now swat Olam, they say now IPOP. They call lock up for their cell. See January to now, and the man.
So this man, this guy that is here, is and who state to is not any other place, Biafra land. Everybody have seen how Bumi and the Nigerian government have been romancing with the terrorists that are killing people. Since Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was sent to Sokoto, people have also been visiting to see him. Is there anything wrong somebody visiting Mazi Nnamdi Kanu in Sokoto? Is there anything wrong with that? Absolutely, there is nothing wrong with that. Then you ask yourself, why will the police detain somebody who just want to pay a visit to somebody who is in detention? Or is because it is Nnamdi Kanu, right? Because it is Kanu. That is why this guy went to police to report that the money they contributed to go and see our leader in Sokoto, somebody took that money away. The police now advised him to go to, he went to police. They, advised him to go and to one other barrack to make that report. When the guy went there to make the report, what is crime? What crime has he committed for them to arrest him? The only crime he committed is because it is Mazi Nnamdi that is going to see. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu that is going to see. Why the Nigerian government in Biafra is what Ifeanyi Mba hold this man hostage. Since January, we are on marches and this guy has been in detention, and the wife to this just put, the wife was pregnant when they were taken. Today the wife has given birth. The wife has given birth, and the man has not seen his child. He has not seen the family. What is his crime? What crime did he commit? Just for going to see Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. So when you see all this harassment and all this intimidation happening, so because of all these things, you don't expect us to leave Biafra. Biafra must be restored. Biafra must be restored because of all this harassment and intimidation that we are going through in Nigeria. So it is a very important point for you to understand that the foundation of Brgie was in a way that nobody can be able to destroy it. So for those those who think that Biafran Restoration Project is IPOB Nigeria, or is a group fight, or just an association, you must be mistaken. I will see if I can play that video, because I don't, like I told you, if anytime the video is not playing, please bear with me, because I am using a gadget that is actually very, very old. It's helping me, but then I'll still continue to manage it. Let me see if it's going to play now. So while you join me, please, if you want to make your contribution on the comment section, you can as well. If you have any question pressing, you can as well ask us on the comment section. And if you want to join us on the studio, you are very much free as well. You see, the link is there, and join us on the studio. Very, very important. Very, very unfortunate. I have issues with playing videos sometimes. Well, I can't help it. It's not my fault. It's
So one person reach out to me now. They say he get one guy wey dey SWAT custody.
I'm doing something now. So as the guy was writing the statement, they now took him into their custody. So this man, they say his name is Liberty. Liberty is from Enugu State. He went to see he went to the station to
Person reach out to me now. They say he get one guy wey dey SWAT custody in Enugu since January this year. They say they tag him as IPOB
suspected IPOB member. The crime he committed was that he went to the police to report. He went to police to make a report about somebody who took their money and ran away. The police now then added to SWAT Enugu. When he went to Enugu SWAT, they asked him to make a statement. They asked him what the money that they are contributing, what are they going to use it for? He said they're going to use it they want to use it for transport to go to Sokoto and see Mazin Nnamdi Kanu. That is where they now take the guy and locked him up, just like that. So these are some of the things that will make you as a hardcore never to give up on fighting for your freedom, never to compromise your position, because a lot of our people have fallen victims of this Nigeria atrocity in our own land. In our own land. That is how sad that it is. Not in Sokoto. This thing did not happen in Kaduna. It did not happen in Kwara. It did not happen in Kastina. It happened in the Biafran territory. Biafran land, where a Biafran is supposedly the governor of a state. In our land, they intimidate us. They harass us. They do all manner of things in order to destroy your psyche, in order to make sure that they inflict that fear in you not to fight for Biafra. So, considering all these things, you come into Biafran Restoration Project instead of you to focus on the support for the freedom of our people. You will now join the Nigerian government who are trying to destroy us, who try to stop our freedom. You now join them to sabotage the effort that the government is making in order to free us out of Nigeria. It is very, very sad. Very, very, very sad. But the good thing is that the Biafran Republic government in exile is so much focused on our fight for restoration, focused on our fight for recognition, and there is nothing anybody can do about it. The primary responsibility, there are duties that this government is performing. The primary duty of our government in exile is to act as a depository of the state sovereignty. You know, this government is representing the totality of the 40 states of Biafra land. It is a representative organ of the Biafran people that it claims to serve. Yes, of course. So this government that you see is just like you have the government of the United States of America. The only difference is that America is now a sovereign nation, whereas we are fighting to have that sovereignty that America has, to have the sovereignty that India, Pakistan, Germany, UK, France, all those sovereignty that these countries these countries are enjoying. These are the sovereignty we want to enjoy, so that they can preserve the legal personality of our state. Government in exile is trying to preserve that legal personality of the state until we can return to our region and regain our power. So there are a lot of practices, a lot of responsibility that this government has, and that is why we need you to support this government. The government maintains legitimacy and continuity. It provides itself as the rightful government, preventing Nigeria, preventing Britain from being seen as the full legitimate authority in our land. This is the responsibility of this government in exile. That is what Elias Dabiri and the Biafran government are doing in Washington, D.C. to make sure that the position of Nigeria is weakened in our land, to make sure that the American government understands that it is the Biafran people that are responsible for their actions in our land. This government in exile, it is their responsibility to uphold our constitution, our laws, and our symbol where possible, and argue against the de facto regime authority in international fora. So these are some of the responsibilities that Biafran government has, because when Elias or Dabiri, when they go to Washington, D.C., just like our Prime Minister said yesterday, they sit down with policymakers. They argue, they try to come in terms. 1 minute. Yes, they try to, let the international community understand the reason why Biafra should be recognized as a free sovereign state. They present the atrocities that the Nigerian government has committed in our land. Even the international community are aware of the Nigerian government atrocious activities in our land. They are aware. But then when they sit one-on-one on the table, they are also being reminded that this is the reason why we want Nigeria to be divided, because Nigeria has not benefited us enough. The Biafran Republic government in exile serves as a diplomatic representation and international advocacy for Biafra. The lobbyists, the attorney, they are there diplomatically to represent Biafra. They seek to maintain recognition from other diplomacy, join alliances, and highlight issues like human rights abuses that the Nigerian government are committing in our land, like the occupation of our land. There is no Biafran that don't know the human rights abuses that Nigerian government have enforced on our land. You can see the videos on social media where you come to military will ask you to hands up in your region, in your land. They tell the elderly, the young, the old, both the young and the old, women and children to hands up in order to pass those checkpoints. These are abuses. They occupy our land. They don't like us to socialize. Our land is not fully industrialized, no industrialization program. So our recognized exile government can sometimes enter into treaties. They have treaties to enter. They manage assets overseas, protect nationals, issue of documents, and providing consular services, and even consent to certain forms of external support or intervention. These are some of the work duties that the Biafran Republic government in exile is expected to do. So for you that is a Biafran that is not in support of the actions of the duties of the diplomatic work that Biafran government in exile is doing in Washington, D.C., I want you to know that you are not helping the cause. You are not helping the cause. You should join hands with Biafrans to support the cause for our restoration. It is a collective responsibility. The Biafran government in exile organized resistance and planned for return, yes, because we are doing what we are doing in order to make sure that when Biafra is finally recognized as a nation, Then the Biafran government in exile will now form a transitional government in the homeland in coordination with the de facto government in the homeland. Coordinate with domestic opposition or resistance movement. We build our military forces. Those armies that are in exile will now come back home. We raise funds and develop strategies for liberation or restoration. Your funding is very, very important. Why people focus on propaganda? You try to tarnish the good work that Brgie is doing. You try to downplay the actions and activities, the diplomatic engagement of our Prime Minister Ogechukwu Ukere. You try to carry out all manner of propaganda against our lobbyists, our attorneys, instead of you to try to join hands in sustaining the identity, the Biafran Republic government in exile identity, to make it go viral in diaspora so that other diasporan organizations can come on board and join hands in supporting the freedom of their nation. It is very, very sad that a lot of Biafrans are in this category, while the government is trying to bring freedom, trying to do everything within its power so that we can be free. What you are doing is to try to be a block. You try to be a stumbling block in the wheel of progress. It is very, very sad. Very, very sad. The Biafran Republic government in exile, in as much as they are working from exile, they perform some governmental functions. Yes, they do a lot of work, depending on our recognition and our host country support. They may legislate for expatriates, manage finances or assets held abroad, provide services to refugees, which Biafran government in exile is providing as well. There are people who have taken the refugee status in diaspora. I need to answer this call, please. I need to answer this call.
Using your foot to walk on the ground will ever destroy. Never rise again. Biafra government in exile is a government that nobody born of a woman marching
Yeah, sorry for that disruption. Welcome back. Sorry, I was, I had a call and I have to answer that call. So the Biafran government in exile is doing everything humanly possible to make sure that we are free as a nation. Okay? They perform governmental functions secretly, even in Washington, D.C., because they are the ones representing the people of Biafra. So we are depending on recognition and our host country support. They may legislate, the government in exile may legislate for expatriate, manage finances or assets held abroad, provide services to refugees, just like we have Biafrans who have taken refugee status. It is the BRGIE government that give them their refugee papers, that help them, they assist them in that aspect, can handle economic or diplomatic matters. During, there are a lot of various activities that the Biafran government is involved in. And all these jobs are capital intensive. So we call on Biafrans. I'm coming. They call on Biafrans. We are calling on Biafrans in the homeland, in diaspora, to support the activities of Biafran Republic government in exile. More importantly, to support our Prime Minister, our attorney, and our lobbyists, because they are doing exceptionally well in Washington, D.C. In Washington, D.C. Go away. The important thing, the overreaching goal, the ultimate goal of the Biafran Republic government in exile is to restoration of Biafra, so that Biafrans can return home. We can re-establish our effective control in our homeland and have a transitional government back to normal governance. But the success, this achievement, largely depends heavily on external recognition, especially from America. It depends largely on the recognition by the international community, so that we can be able to develop our military development and politics. Without broad international support, a government in exile may become largely symbolic or fade. You see, with all these activities that Biafra Republic government in exile has engaged upon, if we don't have international support, if countries are not supporting, it means all this great work that these men and women are doing may be in vain. So we are calling on Biafrans in diaspora, in the homeland, to come on board and support the Biafran government in exile, because they have a solid foundation, very, very solid foundation, which is eventually going to lead us to the freedom that we crave. But your support is very much needed. Don't be an agent of the Nigerian state. Don't fight against your freedom. Don't stand on the way of progress for us, because you are not going to succeed. You will certainly fail, because just like IPOB, what happened in IPOB when our leader Mazen Nnamdi Kanu was kidnapped, the structures failed woefully. It failed woefully because the people that were managing the structure that Mazen Nnamdi Kanu put in place were never hardcores. They were never people who have the mindset of freedom. They were never people committed for the restoration of Biafra. Everybody of holding very tight the financial aspect that he or she was in charge of. Very tight the financial aspect that he or she was in charge of. They held it very, very strong and tight. So they held it very, very tight. They succeeded in destroying the IPOB that Mazen Nnamdi Kanu established. But IPOB cannot be compared with government in exile, because in this case, we now liaise, we now discuss, we now talk with government of the world. So I want you to understand that Biafrans, that this Biafran Republic government in exile is not IPOB, is indestructible, is unshakable and unstoppable. Why? Because the men and women that pilot the affairs of Brgie are hardcores, selected by Chukwuokike Abiyama himself and put in position, make sure that the sabos that are to come, just like our Prime Minister, first Prime Minister said, he said, they will come. A time will come when all these people are going to show their face. But we have to build a structure whereby whenever they come, they are not going to penetrate. They are not going to succeed. They will not be able to have any effect on the structure that is being built. Listen to it again.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Because you know that eventually the enemies will come.
Laying that strong foundation to make sure that we're not porous to suppose. But our structure and what we are doing now will end them. So we want to first of all organize the government, the cabinet, and make sure that they are not porous to these suppose and all the things that comes with it. Then we'll go into the contribution. Of course, the money to raise that will be raised from the upper land goes a very, very long way. The inflation phase that we are into now. So after that, it is advisable that everybody will locate their state. That's why the groups, it's have already started. was brilliant.
So it is very, very sad that Biafrans, instead of them to focus on their freedom, a lot are focusing on how to destroy the structure that Biafran Republic government in Exile set. Are we fighting for structure or are we fighting for freedom? One question that have on and on resurrected times without number is the issue of prime minister. I don't know why our people are so emotional. I don't know why whenever we are close to our destination, we always find something or the other to try to distract us. Biafra Restoration Project is not a prerogative right of one person. Biafra is for each and every one of us. And if Mazi Nnamdi Kanu right now decide that, oh, he is no longer a Biafra, he doesn't want to fight for Biafra. So what it means, most of you will now hands up and say, okay, Biafra has been defeated. If Mazi Simon Ekpa Njoku, in anywhere that he is now, because of the harassment, because of the intimidation, and because of the suffering that he's undergoing in the detention that he is, decide to say, okay, I don't want to talk about Biafra again, and they give him freedom, does it mean that we are going to give up our fight for freedom? The answer is no. So for those of you thinking that everything depends on Mazi Nnamdi Kanu or everything depends on Mazi Simon Ekpa Njoku, you are all mistaken. Because Biafra is for Biafrans, not for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu or for Mazi Simon Ekpa Njoku. The issue is that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and Mazi Simon Ekpa have formed the integral part of the success story of Biafran restoration. They have formed that success story. So their position at this particular time is not going to determine the outcome. It's not going to determine whether we are going to be free or not. No. The reason why Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and Prime Minister Simon were held is for them to stop Biafra. So if you yourself allow yourself to be stopped like Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, then you are not ready for your freedom. So Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and Mazi Simon Ekpa Njoku, wherever they are, does not prove or does not show how much we must fight for Biafra. No. Irrespective of where they find themselves, we the Biafran people are the ones who are determining our future, because of the over 80 million people who are involved in this freedom restoration. This is very important. So the Biafran Republic government in exile is here for Biafran people, not for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, not for Mazi Simon Ekpa Njoku. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu remains the leader of the Biafra movement, Mazi Simon Ekpa remains the first prime minister. But then the government have to still be in place. The government will continue to do its work. Take, for instance, the Ambazonians. The Ambazonians, their leaders have been in Cameroon for how many years? But yet, their movement is standing very strong. They are pushing for their recognition. They are pushing for the division. They are pushing for the recognition in Washington, D.C., the same way that we are pushing for the recognition in the same Washington, D.C. And incidentally, it's the same lobbyist, it's the same attorney that is still representing Ambazonia and Eritrea. So why is our people trying to, destroy the fabric of our freedom? This is very, very sad. Very, very sad, because you are making enemy for yourself. The Biafran Restoration Project, most of the people that have tried to destroy this movement will feel that you have a lot of supporters. You may feel that people are supporting you. When you see that Biafran has been recognized now, you will know that you have enemies who never wanted to speak, because they don't want to make enemies while the freedom is still very much on. You see, because a lot of things is going to happen. A lot of people are going to be held accountable for every evil, every atrocity that they committed in this, in this our freedom journey. Yes, people may, try to, because of your influence, or because of your position, or because of when they gain from you, they'll be giving you green light all the time. But inwardly, they are really against you for your stand on this project. We have people who can give this freedom, who can support this freedom tomorrow, and freedom is restored. But these people decide not to get involved. Why? Because they believe that when they get involved, Nigeria is going to come for them. But this is not the reality. This is not the reality. Because even if you are not involved, Nigeria will still come for you. So why won't you involve yourself secretly in the freedom of your people? Because it is your people that should be more important to you, not the Nigerian government, not the Nigerian people. It is your people that you should be so concerned about than Nigerian government. So we have to appeal to you, Biafrans in diaspora, in homeland, anywhere that you are watching us from. The Biafran Republic government in exile needs you. It needs everybody. Shed your sword. Come back to the government, because you cannot destroy it. Come and show your solidarity. Come and show your support. The government is doing wonderfully well. Ogechukwu Nkere is the prime minister. He merited it. Not that the position of prime ministership is being contested. No. The reason why Ogechukwu Nkere became the prime minister is because our prime minister Simon Ekpa was incapacitated. He couldn't function as a prime minister. He couldn't do his work as a prime minister under a Finnish custody. Is he going to prime minister from Finnish custody? The answer is no. Okay? The work of prime minister has to continue. While you are still in detention, the work has to go on and on and on until victory is achieved. This is what the Nigerian government with Finland wanted to succeed in doing, to stall the success of Biafran Republic government in exile. They detained Mazi Simon Ekpa, and we Biafrans, we should be very, very wise, because government is a continuum. Government cannot, just stay stationary, without functioning because of one of his cabinet members or the leader is just in detention. No, the Biafran Charter, the Biafran bylaw, this we have said this times and times without number. Imagine a scenario: Simon Ekpa was detained since 18th of November 2024. This is how many years now? A year plus. But in the Biafran Charter, or in the bylaw, it is stipulated a 6-month period. If the Prime Minister cannot be able to function effectively due to either arrest, sickness, or whatever, then it is the responsibility of the government to elect a Prime Minister that will function in his place. This is what the Biafran government did in electing Ogechukwu Nkere, so that the work of the Prime Minister will also continue. So when you see people telling you that, oh, Prime Minister Simon still remains the prime, different does it make? The Prime Minister is in detention. Is he going to Prime Minister Brgie from detention? Has he been meeting senators from detention? Because you cannot be in acting capacity for too long. So the Prime Minister cannot Prime Minister Brgie from detention. That is something that our people should understand. When he comes out and also want to be the Prime Minister, let me tell you, when Ogechukwu Nkere was the acting Prime Minister, he acted for almost a year. Yes. He was given that opportunity and to see whether the case of Prime Minister Simon Ekpa, they can free him. But unfortunately, he was jailed to 6 years. 6 years. And because of that, his situation, the Imam Madabu group now wanted to use that as a yardstick to fight against the original Biafran government in exile. They say, oh, why do you have to elect another Prime Minister? Prime Minister is in detention. Why can't you allow him to come out? Why can't you allow him to, when he rejoins us, why can't you allow him to lead from detention? Number one is that Prime Minister Simon cannot lead Biafran movement from detention. Number two is that the Biafran bylaw stipulated that when the Prime Minister is incapacitated for complete 6 months, his position must be filled with somebody who will stay in his place. And this is the process, the procedure that the Biafran Republic government in exile followed. Remember, after the 2023 convention that was held in Helsinki, the Biafran Charter was taken to the American congressmen and women. In that Biafran Charter, it speaks so much volume. It stipulates what the BRGI stands for. So the Americans, senators, representatives, do you think they don't go through those charters? Do you think that they don't know that Prime Minister Simon is in detention? They will also expect to know what we are going to do since the leader is in detention. Are we going to wait for the leader to come out before we continue our freedom fight? So we, the Biafran people, have to be wise. And that is why we have to implement what is written in that charter or in that bylaw Very, very important. Because America will now know whether when you are recognized, are you going to follow the rules of the law? What you wrote, what you are presenting to them as your charter, Biafran charter, are you going to follow it line by line in obeying what it says? The American congressmen and women are going to think about that. So if you now say, oh, you are going to wait for Prime Minister to come out, these people who you gave the charter will say you don't know what you are doing. So the BRGIE have done well, and they are doing exceptionally well. So most of the people who are now trying to fight against BRGIE are doing that in bad faith. Yes, because Ogechukwu Nkere have not in any way shown any betrayal to BRGIE. And besides, this is not a government that is group inclined. No, this is a government, not a group type of organization where somebody can just hijack it and that's the end of it. In this case, this is a government that is run by men and women who are hardcore. They understand what the game is all about. Now that we have our lobbyists, we have our attorney in Washington, D.C. These are the key figures who arrange meetings for the government in order to continue to negotiate, discuss with the American government. So anybody coming to fight against Brgie, you are fighting against your freedom. And you can't destroy the freedom of Biafran people. I thank every one of you. Do anybody need to join me on the studio? If you want to join me on the studio, please click the link. Maybe you have a question. Monday or SAS, good morning. I see you. Oni Flogzi, good morning from here as well. I appreciate every one of you who joined me this morning. We will continue to do the needful. Freedom is very, very sweet. We must show our total commitment to our freedom. All this noise, all this propaganda on social media is not going to help us. The world will continue to laugh at us if we can come together and build a very strong force. Those of you that are falling out of this government, I want you to rethink. Very seriously, you have to rethink whether your actions and activities are going to be beneficial to this freedom. If your actions and your activities are inimical to the strength of BRGIE, you better retrace your steps, because the Biafran government, the spirit of Biafra, will not be very kind to you and your generation. Will never be kind to you and your generation. Take it and go away from here. Sorry. The Biafran spirit will never be kind with you and your generation. If you are a stumbling block on the wheel of our progress. Biafra is our destination. We must do everything humanly possible. Forget about those who have sabotaged in the past. Check Ukpabia Sika, Ifajuna, Nnianwodo, Hope Uzodinjo. All these people that have sabotaged have something in common with one Nigeria. They are benefiting from one Nigeria. So that is why they have to sabotage, because they believe that if they join force with Biafra, Nigeria is going to penalize them or punish them for their actions. So you that is also trying to do what these people are doing or what these people did in the past, how do you want the Biafran people to view you? You are in diaspora, but your actions are actually against the Biafran restoration. How do you want the Biafran people to feel you? You are in diaspora. You are not contributing. You are not supporting. You are not broadcasting. You are not doing anything. Rather, you are here writing against the same government that is fighting to free you and free your generation. It's very, very sad. Very, very sad. You know my joy? My joy is that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, our leader, is a prophet. His prophecies have always come to pass. And he said that no matter what you do, you are not going to stop Biafra from coming. The only thing that you can succeed in doing is that if Biafra will come tomorrow, you can just, your action may distract us and make it come next tomorrow, but eventually it will come. Okay? But when it comes, when Biafra comes, most of you are going to hang yourselves because you never believed that Biafra was going to come. You never believed on the prophecy of our leader. You never believed on the efficacy, on the strength of Biafran Republic government in exile. You never believed on the sacrifices of men and women who laid their lives. Because of those blood that was shed for Biafra, Biafra must come. I am telling you. Offerings that are well accepted by Chukwu Okike Abiyama is the offerings of blood. Our leader made us to understand that if you can't shed blood, if blood cannot be shed for what you desire, you may not have it. But once blood is shed, that offering, when you call Chukwu Okike Abiyama, he must have to accept it. In this case, Biafran's blood has been shed for one Nigeria for a very long time. Our people have suffered. Our fathers suffered and died. 3.5 million Biafrans died. Women, children starved, all because of Biafra. You just think that all of a sudden those deaths will be in vain? You don't think that all of a sudden those sacrifices will be in vain? Hell no. Because of those deaths, Biafra must come in our time. Biafra must come in our time. So you have a responsibility. You that you say you love Biafra, you have a responsibility to support Biafra now. Support the Biafra Republic government in exile, because that is the only government that American government is talking directly with. Okay? American government cannot deal with a group. It cannot deal with the Ngozi, neither can it deal with Emma. It cannot deal with the Avid. It cannot deal with the Rising Sun. These are organizations, these are groups. Go and check countries that have gotten their freedom through Biafra Republic government in exile. It is everywhere. Poland is one of them. So America can only deal with an organized government, organized representative of the people. In this case, Brgie is organized with a solid structure. We have our lobbyist, we have our attorney, and our prime minister is also in Washington, D.C. So what do you think? Why do you think that Biafra will not come? Why are you not supporting Biafra to come? The only reason Biafra has not come till now is because of your inability to support. Those who should have made it come quicker are not in support financially, but it will only tarry, but surely it must come. Thank you so much, Biafrans, for being part of this broadcast this morning. I want to appreciate Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, the Hamadike of Biafra land, for opening our eyes, educating a lot of Biafrans as well as Nigerians, making us to understand that we need to be free, that we have the resources that can power the whole Africa so that our children can live a better life. We appreciate him for his sacrifices. He sacrificed his job, his family, his loved ones. His father died, his parents died as a result, and he's still standing strong for us. Mazin and Khan, we appreciate him. We also appreciate our Prime Minister, first Prime Minister Mazi Simon Ekwanjoko in Finland. The same story, same Biafra issue that put him in detention. We appreciate him. And I want to, before I go ahead, I want to let Biafrans know it is what Brgie is doing in Washington, D.C. that is going to release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and Mazi Simon Ekwanjoko. There is nothing else that can do that. Nothing. So that is the reason why we must support the Biafran government in exile. So I appreciate our Prime Minister, His Excellency Honorable Ogechukwu Nkere. Thank you so much. A man who speaks little but achieves much, putting up his time to go to Washington, D.C. and make Biafran case to be heard, putting his resources as well, financially and otherwise. We appreciate him. Our lobbyist, Elias Jeresoris, we appreciate him so much. He's doing exceptionally well. He understands the game and he's working according to the dictates of the game. And eventually we will be free. We also appreciate Amanda Berry, legal advice to the Biafran Republic government. I see that we are well structured. We had a very solid foundation, so it's not shaking. Nobody is going to shake it. Nobody is going to stop it. Nobody is going to sabotage it and succeed, because Brgie is built on a solid foundation. And I want to appreciate Biafrans as well who turned up last night to support the Biafran government. Your AJ and Ejemma is well appreciated, and we pray that Okike will always replenish your pocket, because it is the diasporan Biafrans that are actively holding this freedom. Those in the homeland are still sleeping. Maybe because we don't have information dissemination enough, but there is a good news. The good news is that in no distant time, our radio, our television, and our satellite will now be functional in full force, so that information will get to the nooks and crannies of Biafra land. So we appreciate every one of you that made their contribution. And we are calling on those who are sitting on the fence to also come on board and support what we are doing. I appreciate all the cabinet men and women of Brgie. You guys are exceptional. Continue to do the needful. We appreciate you so much. Thank you so much. Biafrans, don't forget to always go to our website, www.biafranrepublicgovernment.org, and make your donation. And feed your eyes as well and educate yourself on what Brgie is doing. Very, very important. The special ID very much in place. Give Brgie government 1,000 a gemma. Give Brgie 1,000 a gemma, and in return, when Biafra is fully restored, you are going to get 1,000 a gemma back, 2,000 a gemma, making it 100% interest rate. So you can make your money while still supporting Biafra Republic government in exile. Okay? So the choice is yours. Biafrans, support your freedom. Freedom is what we must get. Nobody is going to stop Biafra from coming. And in that vein, nobody is going to stop the Biafra Republic government in exile. Nothing can whatsoever destroy that foundation, because it is indestructible, it is unshakable, and Brgie is unstoppable. Know this and know peace. See you next time. And greetings to the Biafran Defense Forces. Goodbye.